Hi everyone, my name is Luella Abner and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a 37-year-old single mother of two. I have a daughter, she's 19, her name is Ashley. I have a son, he's 16, his name is Rashad. Um, well, my life has not been, it's been pretty good, but not all that easy. Um, I'm gonna skip over some years and get to what really put me in this place to even want to try to do more. Well, when my daughter was 12 years old, we found out that she had a kidney disease. And at the initial appointment of us finding that out, they also told us that her kidneys were going to fail and that she would need a transplant. So we carried on with our lives, and when she turned 16, her kidneys actually failed. Because she wasn't sick from 12 until 16, it really didn't dawn on me that, hey, this is that disease, and this is the time that they told us to actually be looking out for. So I mean, I didn't panic. I took her to the emergency room. And they ran all kind of tests. The emergency room, they couldn't find out what was wrong with her. So we end up calling the kidney doctor in Birmingham, and the doctor told the people at the hospital to run this certain test on her. At this time, my daughter was so near death that we live an hour away from Birmingham. They were like, we need to be in Birmingham now. I didn't have anything prepared, and I I wasn't really ready for this. Even though I knew from since she was 12 that it was gonna happen. To make a long story short, in a span of 5 months, when she was 16, that's from July until December of 2008. Our lives were turned upside down. When we arrived in Birmingham, that day in July, um, her kidneys were at a point where she really could have been dead. So that next day, they automatically started dialysis on her. And me being me, I've always been the rock of the family. So I don't take things as harshly or as emotionally as other people would. So I held my ground because I've always been the tough, strong one. And it was really devastating. I really didn't know the impact of it until maybe 2 months into it. All because we had to travel from Montgomery to Birmingham 3 times a week for her to get her dialysis treatments. And again, I do have another child, and he really didn't understand why mommy had to be gone so much. He knew his sister was sick, but he just really couldn't grasp that. And so I had to be mommy and be daddy, and just try to explain to him that it was a life or death situation, and that mommy had to be away for hours at a time. um well, from the time we got to Birmingham until December the 2nd of 2008, my daughter had 12 surgeries. If you have never been through anything that tragic, you just really don't know how to take it. If it wasn't for the grace of God, I literally would have lost my mind. Yes, I had support from my family, but I tried to hold myself together because I knew that I was all that my kids had. So me being me, I meant I held myself up. With God's help, I definitely held myself up. And at that point, a lot of other things was going on in my personal life, as far as my job and the relationship I was in, and just really needing to breathe. And I actually really needed somebody to say, "Hey girl, are you okay?" They knew I was strong, but people never really asked me, was I okay? And I think I needed people to ask me, was I okay? A lot of times I wasn't okay, because I mean, again, if you had never had to deal with such a tragic situation, knowing that your child could have been dead, you just don't know. So then when I got back to work, things at work started to go down. It was just a lot of confusion at the job, and so I was like, hey, I really need to find other things to do with myself. I graduated from high school. I went to college. I got a degree. I got a bachelor's in banking and finance. I graduated 2005. I went back to school. I was working on my master's in accounting, and what discouraged me was when I graduated undergrad, I applied for so many jobs, had so many interviews, and I got rejected, so I got discouraged. And I thought, well, maybe, hey, I need to go back to school to get a little more education and to see if that would help. But again, I was still applying for jobs, and nothing happened, nothing that I needed to do. I've always been good with numbers. I am also a tax preparer. I just started that business the beginning of this year. But I actually wanted to either be in a bank or be in an accounting firm or something, but I just never had that opportunity. And then as the economy started going down, I was like, well, I just felt like I got into all this debt with student loans for nothing. So, I mean, I've always been the person to think outside of my box. So I was like, hey, maybe I'll try to get into a home-based business. Well, I tried a couple, and it didn't work out well at all. So, I mean, I didn't make any money. And when I was presented with Vitel, I mean, the information that my upline gave to me was so amazing that, I mean, it was a no-brainer, and I mean, I was pumped that she was talking to me. And we talked for maybe an hour or so. We talked for an hour, then I watched the presentation, then that just confirmed, how great I thought the situation was. So I immediately jumped on it. And I did this because I have been working a job since the age of 19, because at that time I was a teenage mom. I had my daughter when I was 18. So working from 19 until now I'm 37, and the money the money I'm making, I mean, I can barely pay my bills, and I mean, this is just ridiculous. I want more. I want to show my kids that yes, you can work a job and not as hard and get paid great money. I mean, I've always believed in internet marketing, and I am so grateful to the person that in, introduced me to the person that got me into Vitel. But I tell you, this here, Vitel, this opportunity is, I mean, if people don't, and it's crazy how people would rather stay in that state of mind where they continue to have nothing from year to year to year. And see, that's why I am. I mean, the little 3% raises I get on my job, I mean, 3%, that's what, 25, maybe not even a dollar. I can't live like that. I can't pay back student loans and maintain my home. I just can't do that on that kind of salary. I mean, I've been at my job for 11 years and I'm not even making $30,000 a year. And to me that is ridiculous, and I know, and I just believe in home-based businesses. So I always hear about people making all this money, and I'm like, okay, girl, you need to get it together. You need to really find something that gonna spark your interest and get you going. So that's I'm grateful for my cousin introduced me to the person that got me into Vital. So I am grateful. Um, I'm grateful because I've been through so much and I have had to spend so much time away from my children, going to work, working nights. My son get out of school because my daughter, she's a freshman in college. My son gets out of school, I'm not home, and his sister may be at work, and he has no one to help him with his homework, and I'm just tired. I wanna be able to. He's a junior in high school. I just want to have this time to be that mom because he is a football player, and I want to be able to go to his games, and I want to be able to spend more time with my mom and my grandmom. I just want to do something different. So that's why I chose to get into Vital. Now I am working it, and I am working so that very soon I can leave that job. I mean, because it's stressful. It's a lot of confusion, and I'm not happy because I have to actually force myself to go to work every day. I mean, when the time comes, I sit and I dread because I just hate that place so much. So that's me. I'm an ordinary girl, single mom, been taking care of my kids all of their life. Got on my own when I was 22 and been on my own ever since. I think I've done pretty good because I haven't had to go back home, or I haven't had to ask for too much help, in my adult life. But now it's time for me to relax. I want to relax. I want to go on vacations. I want to be able to not worry about anything. I want to pay off my student loans. I want to be able to pay for my kids' college. And I can't do that working a 9 to 5. So that's me. That's me, world. I'm just an ordinary girl. Thank you. God bless. Bye.